From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, Donkey Kong is coming to Super Nintendo World, plus Pokemon is great on mobile again.
It's so fun to play a card game on the go.
Sprites, pixels, vague, indiscriminate shapes of all kinds. Gather your bits, your bleeps, your boops. By the power of our rudimentary control mechanisms and flickering cathode rays, the first console war begins.
More
exciting. Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 447. Your place to hear Nintendo fans talk about Super Nintendo Worlds and Pokemon mobile games. I'm glad you got it, because I would love to talk about it, because it's pretty fun. And we are your hosts. I'm Trey, Murder of Crows Johnson.
I'm Jeremy. Finally got Belatro Mikowski.
Finally. And I'm John, Japanese Knitter.
Oh, Jess is already turning off this episode.
I'm
Sorry, Jess.
Hold on. I'm Madagascared. Madagascared.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking about the wrong card game. Maybe you got the other one. But we'll find out when we talk about games that we got and games we're playing, which is going to happen right now. Let's start off the show as we normally do and talk about games we got and games that we've been playing. How's everybody been doing? Recovering well from last week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Lots of, still kind of a looming depression, dark cloud over everything, but
Yep.
I don't know, trying to work through it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Veterans Day was on Monday, so a lot of people had work off, Jess included, and we actually had I worked on Sunday. I worked on a thing on Sunday, but afterwards, Caroline and Robert actually came over to our house. And we finally got to play a full 4-person Super Mario Party Jamboree game, and it was
How'd that go?
It was fun. It was good. They're not really, they're not really Mario Party people. Like we played Super Mario Party once, the first one on Switch, and I don't know. I don't think Robert was really into it.
You say they're more into like Mario Kart, right?
Yeah, they're main Mario Karters. We play like, we play. The other thing, we play Jackbox together, but yeah, they play a lot of Mario Kart. So it's kind of funny whenever whenever we played a thing and they would see like a character from Mario, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's that one guy from that one race, or like say whatever, like that's Wiggler, he's in that one race. I was like, yeah, because we played the treetop Wiggler level where Wiggler moves around in the middle, where it kind of changes, and it was pretty intense. Like we all had a good amount of stars towards the end. I think we all had like 2 or 3 stars. So it was pretty, it was pretty close, but I ended up winning because of the bonus stars, and I got 2 stars stolen from me also. Robert stole a star from me and Jess did as well. So, shit happens. I was trying to convince him not to, but Caroline was was telling him that she would divorce him if he stole a star from her. It was one of those, I was like, hey, people say friendships end over Mario Party, but that's people who don't know how to actually play Mario Party. They don't understand the way the game works. You have to attack everybody.
I seem to recall a roommate and his girlfriend getting in a
starts.
big fight over something like that once. You might have been there, Trey.
I mentioned the old Bobo Sarah fight of whatever year that was, and how that was like a thing, and it was and everybody was so mad at her about that. I remember it. For anybody listening, Jeremy's cousin, we were playing Mario Party one time, and I remember he like got to a star, and his girlfriend like slapped his hand, and it made the controller go to no instead of yes, so he didn't get the star, and he was so pissed, and we were all kind of like, "Why did you do that?" And she's like, "I was just fucking around," and it was like a whole.
If I recall, she was unapologetic about it, or otherwise it wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
I just remember it just being like, the room got real cold after that. It was like, what are you doing? And I think they broke up not that long after that, right? I don't know. They probably
Yeah,
stayed
I don't know
together
the
for a while.
timeline, but
They did break
you
up
know,
eventually.
we can say that for the good of the story.
Sure, yeah. That was how I said it at the Mario. I was like, and then they broke up the week after, which
Yeah.
I don't think. I think they stayed together for a little bit longer, but it's funnier that way.
He got to keep 1 and 3, but she took 2.
One and what?
Nice. Mario
Nice.
parties.
Oh yeah, nice. But yeah, no, we had a fun time. 4-player. I always get excited about playing 4-player Mario Party, and I know Caroline was planning on coming over, but I didn't know if they were going to be there, if I was there when I was there or not. But yeah, Jess was like, "Hey, they'll come by and we could play games," and I was like, "Oh, cool, let's play Mario Party." So we did. We played a 15-round game, and it seemed a little bit longer because they wanted to see, all of we did the practice modes way too long. They needed to be overly prepared for everything, but it was fun. Trying to explain to them the way it works, and it was a good time. We had fun, like 2-player matches, where it kept like swapping around from one person to another and all that shit. Oh yeah, and I also beat the single player of Mario Party, so I got the credits on Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Nice.
I did it while I was editing last week's podcast, so you can see how much effort that took. Actually, the hardest game in the single player, and probably my least favorite game of the whole game. I don't know if we played it while you were here, Jeremy. The one with the keys and the 3 doorways. Did we play that one?
I don't think we did.
Because I fucking hate that one so much because there's no skill to it whatsoever. It's all just random. So there's you get 5 different keys. And there's 3 different gates that go in, and there's ghosts, and it's at a cemetery and all that. And it's out of the 5 keys, whoever opens one of the doors first wins. And it's just so annoying because it's it never works for me. And it was so hard to do it single player because the computer would get it first almost every time. And you can't pause it and reset it. You have to wait for the whole game to go over to stop, and then you start all over again. Oh my God, it was so annoying. And it's just, like I said, it's just totally random. And it picks whoever goes first at random too. And it's what the fuck? So finally, after playing it 4 or 5 times, I finally got it. But it's just a dumb game. I don't like it. It's just it's just all luck. It's just whatever. But yeah, I made it through single player. I did the boss. This boss is for all the different stuff. And I got to the credits and hooray, did that. And we actually, Jess and I, we played a pro one by ourselves. I'd only played the pro once. I played it online when it first, came out, and I got destroyed. And then Jess and I had just been playing the regular Mario Party, and it was like, let's try the pro mode. So we did, and it was pretty neck and neck through the whole thing. I stole one of their stars, and then they stole it back from me, and then they landed on a Bowser spot. And in pro mode, Bowser automatically takes your star. No matter what. There's the whole thing about pro mode is there's less randomness to it, So Jess landed on Bowser and lost a star. So then I had no stars, and they had 1 star, and I got the bonus, which they actually tell you what the bonus stars are at the beginning too in pro mode, so you can actually work to get it. And the pro mode was the happening star, if you remember from old Mario parties.
Yeah.
Whoever lands on the exclamation point the most amount of times. And I actually, was kind of trying to do that. And I ended up getting the bonus star, and I won from having the most amount of coins. So I lost, pretty much through the whole game. And then at the end, with the bonus star, I was victorious. So that's what I always try to tell people about Mario Party. You never know what's going to happen until the end. You can't get up early, or give up early, One of my, I remember my nephew, we played when he was younger, we tried to play Mario Party, and he, lost the first game. And he was like, I don't want to play this. And he, gave up. And I was like, dude... It's dude, that's not the way it works. You got to stick out all the rounds. You never know. Somebody's going to land on a chance space and everything's going to get fucked over. It's just the way the game goes. You got to hang out to the end, wait for those bonus stars, and then you can be angry about it when you don't win after that. Because many times there's, you dominate the whole game and then somebody hits a chance space and all your stars go to somebody else and then you are in last place and it's what? So anyway, it's great. It's fun to play. It was nice to play it with them, and they were a lot more positive on it this time. They, like I said, I feel like they got a little bored by the first one, but they seem to like this one a lot more. But it's much better than Super Mario Party. I think Jamboree, the boards are so much bigger and more fleshed out. The boards were so tiny in the original Super Mario Party, and I think a lot of the mini games are better. We were having fun with the with the steak one where you have to cut the steak in half.
Oh yeah.
Or Caroline and Jess were yelling 50-50 whenever they got it whenever they got it right. So it was a good time. So yeah, we had a good amount of drinks and food and whatnot. And
I heard it's rare to win that game.
it was a rare to win what, Mario Party?
The steak game, because it's like medium
Nice.
difficulty.
Oh well, I mean,
And
it's,
when you're done, they're like, "Well done."
I mean, it's a 4-player game, so one of you's going to win.
Mhm.
Actually, we've tied it before. Jess and I played it with both of us on opposite teams with computer players, and we actually tied. You can tie because you can get 50-50 every time, and then
I mean, if you can get half, if you can like tie, there doesn't seem like there's anything at stake.
nah. If you tie, you actually both win. That's the fun
You
thing.
have beef with each other
That's
after
the
that?
fun thing about the new one. Okay,
Moo.
moving on. This meat is well done or burnt or something.
This meat has gone bad in the sun.
Yep, it has. So is this podcast. No, let's talk about the card game that maybe you haven't played, but I've been playing. Have you tried out the Pokemon trading card game yet, Jeremy? Pokemon trading card.
Yeah,
Pocket?
I played it a lot. I've played it a lot. Probably played 4 or 5 hours of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like it a lot. Just like the act of opening packs is just wonderful. Like the way they do it, like just the UI in it is great. And actually, I hadn't played it yet, and I was listening. I was delivering and listening to podcasts and all that. And it turns out one of the hosts from 8.4 actually worked on the game and did like localizations and all that. So I was hearing them talk about it and describing like the different ways that you can open the pack. And I had only heard it on their podcast. I don't know if you do that way, but you can actually flip it backwards.
Yeah,
And open it from the back, and then you can flip over each card as you open
which
it.
is more fun that way.
And that's the way I do
think.
it. Yeah, it's
The
so
only
much
reason
more
I don't
fun.
like it
Yeah.
is because it seems like it's most likely that if it's a really nice card, it's going to be the fifth one. So then you see it first if you do it that way.
Oh, well, I mean,
Also, when you're like flipping the pack, if you're doing it from the front, you can kind of see the edges of the cards just like you would in real life.
oh yeah.
So you got to have like a little sneak preview if you see like a little glint of something as you're flipping through it.
Hmm.
No, it's very satisfying. I don't know. Maybe I'll go into my stats here in a little bit after we talk about it a bit, but I'm having a great time with it, and it's free.
Yeah, it's free. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, just the process of, like I said, just even opening the cards and just looking, and the art is beautiful on all the cards.
Mhm.
They look great. And like when you get like a really cool like EX card, like I got the Mewtwo EX card, and
Mhm.
there's like a whole like cutscene like animation for it. I don't know if you got that. Did you get that one?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, where it like kind of goes through, like it shows like the broken glass, and it goes through like the containment unit where Mewtwo was, and kind of like moves through the room. Like it's really cool, like the animation that it shows for the card that you get. And the cards look awesome. Like you can, when you tilt them around, they have this like 3D effect to them where like the pictures kind of look like they're like coming off of the card, and it's got like the reflective foil on the outsides and all that. Like it's really neat. And yeah, they're designed really, really well. I got this Alakazam card, which is like my favorite Pokemon ever. That looks really neat. Like it's not an EX card, but just the design of it is really cool. So I haven't played. I don't know if you played anybody online. I haven't played anybody online. I've done it a lot. I've just been playing the computer just because I'm afraid that, I don't know. I heard like Kat Bailey talking about it on Axe of the Blood God, and it sounded like
I heard that too, and that almost swayed me from playing it.
somebody's going to pull an Articuno EX on me or whatever, and I'll get destroyed.
Well, that is the way it works. So I'll tell you my experience with playing online. So I've played enough to where I'm gonna get to my stats here. It's just gonna be easier to explain this way.
Did you add me and did you friend me on here?
No,
I put my number on Slack, like my friend.
I was trying
number,
my
whatever.
hardest to find it because I remember you posting it, but I couldn't find it because like it was your post that said you liked it. When I was like, well, no, I should download it, and so I did, but I hadn't played it much. And then once I started playing it, I was like, holy crap, this is fun. So I've got 268 cards.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I've got.
Is there that many? Or no? I guess you could.
That's not different cards.
I guess it doubles, right? Yeah.
But I got rid of most of my extras, but they won't let you get rid of. You have to have at least 2 cards. It's kind of weird. They haven't added trading yet, so
I can't. I just opened it. I just got a Blastoise EX like just now.
So I've got
just sitting here.
121 out of 226 cards. So I'm almost to the halfway point.
Let's try to turn my phone all the way
Oh
down.
wait, no, I'm over halfway.
But yeah, no, I just got a Blastoise EX like just now.
Mhm.
Do you have one of those?
I don't think so.
But yeah, no, it's really cool, and you're supposed to like only open a card like every what was it like every 12 hours or whatever. But they have these like hourglass items that you can get where it'll like speed up the time. And I have like 100 some of them, so I'll just open a pack whenever I'm like, oh, I'll just use these, and I've been opening them like crazy, and I've never waited for the time,
I have, but it's because so yesterday what I did, I turned it on, whatever you want to call it, open the app, and I was like, I just want to see how long I can play it before I get to the point where it's like you need to spend money, or where I'm compulsively wanting to spend money to keep playing. And I played for probably about 3 or 4 hours before, and like that was straight because Shauna left, and I started right before she left, and she was gone for several hours to hang out with her brother. And I played the whole time she was gone. And it wasn't until, probably like I said, around the 4-hour mark where I was like, okay, well, I don't really have anything to do. I've exhausted all my tokens on every there's so many different kinds of tokens that you can use in different places. And I had pretty much done all I could do besides just battle. But I hadn't finished all the solo missions, so I still had that to do. I still could play around with building my decks, and you can still do the random battles. So I don't really know what the difference is between the event battles and the and just random battles, but I like the random battles because you can set what you're like, if you want to be beginner or intermediate or advanced. So I just leave it on beginner because I feel like I'm still a beginner. And I don't know, it feels more, I don't know, I feel like I'm facing more like people that know as well as I do how to play. But when I go to the event battles, it seems like the people are harder to play, I guess. They have better decks.
I've only been playing the event like single player, but I played like I did make it through one of the advanced ones that was like 2 or 3 levels up, and it was actually pretty hard, but I was having fun with it. Even losing, I was still like learning stuff. So I was like, because I guess I realized the big thing is like, and I'm sure you figured it out as well, like if you get your EX cards defeated, that counts as 2 points instead of 1 point. Yeah. So it's like, so if you try to throw all your big guys up front and then you get destroyed, like, then that happens. But sometimes also I was doing the Lapras one or whatever. That's like the event one, and I built, I was trying to build up this deck of like of the electronic ones, or the electric Pokemon, and I was using my Pikachu EX that I have, and I could not do damage on their Lapras EX. I don't know why. Like it was just getting zeros back, and I just couldn't do anything, and they just knocked me out. So and then I did it again, and I could do damage. So I don't know. They must have
got a status effect.
Yeah, they must have done some sort of thing where they don't get hurt. But that was like my strongest like electric type Pokemon. I was like, I can't do shit with this. Like, what the hell? So But I just got the Charizard EX.
I have that one
through Wonder Pick just now.
Yeah, the Wonder Pick's cool. I really like that. I've been trying to friend everybody. Like even if they beat me, I'll thank them, and then I friend them because you gain stuff from building up your friends list.
Oh, I haven't friended anybody, but I've thanked all of them that I.
And they'll also show up in your like when you're doing the Wonder Trade, you'll see like people that are your friends with, and sometimes I don't know if it changes whether the cards are better, but you can kind of interact with them more in that way.
We should talk about what Wonder Pick is. So Wonder Pick, you basically like you get. I think you get to see like whatever people's last like cards that they got, right? And you get to
the last pack they opened.
Yeah, the last pack they opened. And you can look and say like, oh, I want to get this one. And then it'll flip them over and then it'll shuffle them. And then you try to pick one and see if you'll get the one that you want, And a lot of times it works, sometimes it doesn't. But and then there's other stuff
basically
where
have a 1 out of 5
where you can trade stuff for specific cards. But I thought it was a really cool, it's like Wonder Trade. It kind of reminds me of good old Wonder Trade. But Wonder Trade was more random. But
I've got a lot of really good cards through the Wonder Trade in this, and it's. Yeah. When you like see a pack that has a card you want, like I think I saw like a Snorlax or something, and I wanted a Snorlax, and I went to it, and I was like, I have a 1 out of 5 chance to get that Snorlax, and I got it. I was like, that's the best feeling ever. But like usually it's not like that because it's only a 20% chance. They show you everything, but then it shuffles it, and I don't think it's in any kind of a manner that you could follow with your eye. But it shuffles it. It's a little visual flair.
Yeah, it kind of like disappears and flips around, and it's not like those. It's not like those magic things like where you're supposed to follow the deck, like because you can't see it. Yeah, because it kind of like goes into a thing and it comes out, and
it gets all 3-dimensional and shit.
You just got to feel it, like Ghostbusters, where you're trying to like look through the card, like the.
And I'll almost always,
shocked,
even if because it's like when you play poker and you're like, oh, I knew I should have stayed in because that's the hand that, or in Texas Hold'em where like I like have like a 3-5 and then the table will flop like 2 3s and a 5 or something. I'm like, damn it, I would have had a full house right now if I would have stayed in. But it's kind of like that where I'm like, no, I was totally gonna choose that spot, but I did it. I chose the wrong one. It's kind of... this game's addictive, but I have already gotten to the point where really all I can do is just the battles, and I'm gonna try to get through all the single player stuff, and that adds the event stuff too. But it's called like whatever the different steps are that you go through in the training, and it's like intermediate and then expert and step up training. That's what it's called. And I'm in the hard ones right now, and then there's like the expert ones after that. So I'm gonna try to get through all those because those give you the hourglass thingies that let you open packs sooner. I had this at some point last night. I completed one of the goals, and I don't know what the goal was. It might have been when I collected like 100 Pokemon, or it was something like that. But it gave me like this crazy reward. It was like it gave me something like 200 of those thingies, like you were saying.
The hourglass.
And I was literally able to open 10 packs at once. I was able to do that, and that was crazy. Because they all kind of get into a big line in 3 dimensions, and it just goes. You just see like a sword slice kind of thing, and then all the packs fly off, and then you just literally go through one pack by pack. And I ended up like adding like 14 or 15 cards to my index just for that one group of 10.
So it's actually like an event, right? It's not like just opening one after another. It just like opens like 10 at once. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have enough of those tokens to do it, you can do it. And they had just given me that many.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, I've never tried doing that. Yeah, it's on the front page. Yeah, it even says like, hey, do you want to open 10 at once?
It looks really cool. It's even more satisfying to see like.
And I've never tried that. I've just been doing one by one, Just it's silly, but yeah, I'm just like
There's just so much going on here. So one thing I did do, and I would recommend other people do this if they want. You can get a free 2-week trial for the premium. I got that, and then I immediately unsubscribed on Apple, so I won't get charged for it. But it'll still let you play for the 2 weeks on premium. So I was able to open like a few extra packs and get like a few extra goals. It didn't get me that much more, and I just did this tonight, by the way, so. I don't know if it's like maybe when it resets for the day, I'll get more stuff, but I did it for free, but I essentially just, they got me hooked in. I want to build the best deck ever. And right now I'm playing I have 2 of those EX Mewtwo's and like all psychic type. One thing I learned from playing other people is you don't want to, because like when you do an auto build, it wants you to choose 2 types.
Yeah.
But you don't want 2 types in your deck because then it seems to be random. Either I don't know if it's random or if it's based on what your last drawn Pokemon was, but the energy will change.
The energies. Yeah. That was a problem too when I was trying to do the against the Lapras. It's like, I was getting all these different energies because I wanted to do like pretty much all lightning, but I was also getting like, normal type, and also because I threw some psychics in there because I want the psychics to be as powerful as they were in the original game, but they're not.
They force you to play with like the Sandshrew deck or whatever for a bunch of those, which is kind of annoying. But once you get to the advanced challenges, that's when they let you start using your own deck. And then of course you can use your own deck whenever you play online. So you play against people. So I would like to actually do a couple matches with you, Trey, see what that's like.
We could try it out. Fun. We could try it out sometime. No, it took me a minute to figure out how to change your decks too, because it kept making you do the Sand Slash one. And when I was doing the Lapras one, I was getting killed, and it's like, hey, you should use lightning. And I'm like, okay. So I made an electric deck, and then I couldn't figure out how to use it. But you just have to click on it and then click your other one. And I made a few of them.
I wasn't able to switch to the decks until I got to the advanced ones. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but it finally let me switch.
Oh, yeah, no, I could do it. Because once I figured out how to do it, I was able to do it. Because I was doing the Lapras X drop event, and what was it, on an immediate level was when I learned how to do it, because that was when I died for the first time. But no, I mean, you just you just click on your dude. Yeah, you just like this is like a basic one right now.
Well, I know how it works, but that just wasn't working for me when I tried to play those earlier missions.
Oh, weird.
So I don't know why. because that's how it works when you play online, and that's how it worked.
Maybe you have to lose. Maybe you have to lose first. I don't know, because I lost, and then it was like make a different deck, and then I
I did that,
and
it still didn't work.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't to say I completely understand this would be silly, but I do think I have a pretty good grasp on it. I know it's like a simplified version of the real game. So those people that
snappy,
really, really like that game probably kind of don't. Yeah, I like how fast it is. I like that it's simplified. And that's quick. And especially if you're playing against a computer, you don't have to be quick. When you play against people online, it can take a little longer. That is something to bear in mind.
Sure.
You might be waiting like 30 seconds before you get to go again. Pardon me. But there is an actual timer. So if they run out, I don't know what happens, but
they make you go.
I've had people resign a couple of times. And then I had somebody they were forced to resign because they didn't have any Pokemon on their bench, which was kind of fun. I learned that no matter how many Pokemon you defeat of theirs, you still only get 15 experience points, at least in the random battles. So
I mean, you can only defeat like 3 at the most, right? Because of the points.
They kind of treat it like golf, that you're +2 or whatever. Or I guess that's the opposite of golf, but +2 is the best you can get for some reason. I don't know why, but you've defeated 3, yeah. But it's fun. I don't know. I like it. It's simple, and I've gotten really, really fond of card games the past few years. So
you have.
It's it's right up my alley in that regard. And I've always wanted to understand the Pokemon card game. And this, I know this isn't gonna completely explain it to me, but I found in just the 2 days I've been playing it, I'm pretty familiar with all the cards and how it works, and it makes sense to me.
Do you understand the types now better? I remember that was always kind of a
I think I need to just have a chart in front of me.
Whatever. Yeah, there's so many of them now that it's kind of. There's only some that I remember because a lot of them make sense. Obviously,
I just need to like
water
print out
versus fire and
a
stuff
sheet
like that.
of what it is or something, or I'm sure somebody somewhere's drawn like a diagram that's like a color wheel kind of thing or something.
Yeah, bulbapedia.com. That's where I always go. That's where all the info is. If you want to know all what's strong against whatever. Does it make you want to play the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy that's on Nintendo Switch Online? Because it is on.
I thought about it, and I actually have that game on cartridge. So if I was going to play it, I would probably play it on the Game Boy Advance or the DS, because I would rather it.
You could play it on your GameCube. Do you have a Game Boy player?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could play it on
I bought it at my first MGC I went to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could play it on your Game Boy player on the TV.
I only paid $60 for it.
Nice.
I know you paid less, but still.
Well, yeah, mine came with my GameCube. I bought a GameCube and it had a Game Boy player attached to it, and they sold it to me because it didn't have a boot up disc. So I bought a GameCube with a game, and this was like 10 years ago. This is a while ago. It was around. I think it was around when Jess and I first started dating. So probably like 12 years ago or something. But yeah, it was. But yeah, I bought it. I wanted a new GameCube because I didn't have one, and I went to the exchange on Milwaukee, and I bought a GameCube for $40. And it had a Game Boy player on it, and they gave it to me because they didn't have a boot up disc. And I bought a boot disc on eBay for $20. So I got a GameCube and with the Game Boy player for $60, which is like insane, like how cheap that is. Now I don't think you can get a GameCube for that. I don't think you can get a GameCube or a Game Boy player for that cheap. But I thought it was funny that they were just like, oh, it's worthless. You can have it for free. And I was like, what? And I was like, it's like I can find that boot disc easy. And I did.
Now you can't.
But like back in 2012, you could, or whatever. But it was a different time,
That disc is worth more than the weight of gold. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I remember when I bought a GameCube for my niece.
It might be
for Haley for $50 that came with Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Like I couldn't believe that. Like that was a fucking steal. Like a GameCube for $50 with Thousand Year Door in it, like included,
Yeah,
with a controller and all the cables and all that. Like I was like, wow, that's insane. But yeah, no, I want to fuck around with that trading card game on a Game Boy. I remember playing it a little bit when it came out, and I was kind of like, I don't really understand this, or I just didn't have the patience for it at the time to get into.
My brother was pretty obsessed with it, but he was
the
right age and obsessed with Pokemon, and I bought it years later because I was just like, well, I remember it getting really good reviews, and I think I did give it a really good review back when it came out. And just the thought of that being not only is it a card game, but it's an RPG. Sort of like a Mario Golf kind of scenario, but with Pokemon. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because it's like a Pokemon game, and instead of battling with monsters, you're battling with cards, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, and there's like a story. Yeah, I remember there's like a story around it, but I don't know if Pokemon actually exists in that world or not, or they just don't fuck with them. They just do the cards like within the world. Like I said, I just played a little bit of it, but I was just kind of.
Oh, I know the Pokemon exist because you see them in the world, but I don't remember. I don't remember what the reasoning is for why people just play cards if there's like a canon for it. But no, I'll check it out. I mean, I have it. I have it twice. I think it might be more fun to play on the TV because when you're looking at all the stats and stuff on that little screen, it can be kind of annoying.
Have you played your phone on the TV for this? For the Pokemon card game?
No, I haven't tried it.
Game?
I've had no desire to.
I figured you would have
really.
because I don't know, you do that a lot.
I've had no desire to. I feel it's the layout and everything is very clean.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's like, it's not going to be like horizontal. It's going to be like a phone game. So if you play it on your TV, it's going to be like all black screen and then just the phone in the middle. It's not going to.
The only game that I care about playing on the TV screen is Peglin. If I ever bought it for a console, I would probably just not use it for that reason anymore. That was a game that worked for that function, and otherwise, I'm going to be watching videos from my phone or something on the TV, but I'm not playing games. It's a novel concept, though, especially when you're using a Bluetooth controller with the phone, and then the phone's doing whatever its wireless protocol is with the TV. Something about that makes my brain happy.
Yeah, playing this game with a controller wouldn't make sense, though. The trading card game, just because of the way you use your finger to open the cards and flip them around and all that. Like that would make it not as cool if you're not using your finger for it, which I would rarely say because.
Well, it's also like
really
the first way
mobile games
I learned to play it, and so at no point while I've been playing it have I been like, this would be a lot easier with a controller. Maybe they might do that for accessibility reasons at some point, but as of now, I don't see any reason. It's really nicely laid out. Like I said, it's a very clean layout. I feel like there's a lot going on, but it does a really good job of explaining it as you go. If you go through all the tutorials, and I don't think it's that complicated. And to be honest, like so many other video games and just life in general, you have to do things before they make sense completely, and you have to fail a lot. And I failed a lot, but I kept playing because I wanted to unlock more cool stuff.
Yeah, I think I have 180 cards total, and I'm a level 8, so
yeah,
probably higher than
I got rid of a lot of my cards because you can turn them into dust that you use to. So that's a whole aspect of the game I guess I haven't gotten into. But when you were talking about like the cool little movie and stuff, I don't think it's quite the same thing. But you can kind of decorate your like play field and all this other stuff with custom thingies and decorations and I don't know if I think it's all aesthetic. I don't think it offers any sort of benefits. The EX Pokemon, I wish there was a way you could play where you could just like turn those off. Be like, I want to play against people without EX. And then it would be like, I think the game would be a lot more fun, to be honest. But the EX Pokemon are probably what keeps it moving quick.
But if you kill them, you get extra points. You get the 2 points for beating.
I know
the EX
there is a trade-off. Also, usually they require a lot of energy to use their attacks. And in this game, you need a lot to retreat as well. I don't know if it's like that in the actual Pokemon card game, but like some Pokemon require multiple units of energy just to retreat. And so if you put one on the front line and you only throw one on it, and then you try to switch it out, sometimes that doesn't work because some of them need more than one to retreat. So
I think maybe it depends on how long you've been out for. Because sometimes I want to put somebody up front that's like not an EX one. I like using Farfetch'd where you could do the what is it?
Like Farfetch'd.
It has what's the name?
Leak slap.
Leak slap, yeah. It's got a good name where you could slap them with the leak, the leak slap. I thought you could.
Oh yeah, Farfetch is like the coolest card in my opinion as far as like its appearance and stuff.
It's a great beginner one, and you can get like a 40 hit from that or 40 damage off of.
I think I also grew to love Farfetch from what was it? The British or what was it?
From Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield, yeah, that Farfetch was awesome.
The Leak Boy.
Yeah,
I should call them. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it probably doesn't Probably doesn't interest you at all, John, but it's free. You could play it if you want to try it out. It's free, and the cards are pretty. It's like I said, it's worth it just for the collecting of the cards. I think that aspect. And when I was playing it, I was like, I could just collect cards and not even play the game and be fine with this, just because I love the UI for opening the packs and looking at them and all that. Like I could just do that and not even play any of the other.
I mean,
shit
ultimately, that
be
seems
like
to
totally
be
satisfied.
that's the idea behind the game, is to open more packs, because everything is pushing towards getting more cards, and the quickest way to do that is to open packs. It's more fun that way too. I mean, when you do the wonder trades, I guess it's random, but it's not quite as random and it's not quite as fun. But everything you do in this is leading you towards, getting more stuff, towards getting more cards. So yeah, ultimately your reward for doing well in the game is to open more packs. So if you like opening the pack, then you'll keep playing. And that's kind of why I keep playing. Because
I appreciate that Pokemon fans are getting something nice.
Yeah.
So
it's really nice. It's really nice. I think I don't know. I think there have been, like I said, I've heard, the contra opinion, not just based on the EX cards, but just that, for fans of the card game, they might not like this as much. It's like the Monopoly Junior of it or whatever. Like, it's just, in my opinion, it's great because it's easier for me to understand, and there's a lot less to keep track of.
Bring in a lot of people who haven't played it before. You can bring people into it. One complaint I do actually have about it, thinking about it right now, about how we're not friends. So on the game, but you can join like with your Nintendo ID and all that, and as I did, like your Nintendo Switch
I did
ID.
the same.
But so why doesn't it tell you what friends of yours that you have on your Nintendo Switch are playing the game? Like, why does it give you a whole different friend number for the Pokemon card game instead of just incorporating all your friends? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't tell me that you were playing.
System,
like,
yeah.
it should tell me, because we're already friends on Nintendo Switch Online, and you use your account too. Like, why can't it show me all the accounts of people that I have friends with? Since I connected I thought the point of connecting my Nintendo account was to do that, was so you could see your friends, but it doesn't show me anything. So
I wonder if they're going to bring this game to Switch at some point.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, just let you see your friends. Like, why connect your account to it if you don't get that? That's a disappointment for me. I mean, it's a great game, but that was like a meh thing. But
it's the best Pokemon game. Like, it's the best Pokemon mobile game since Pokemon Go, easily. Out of all of them that I've played, which I know there's a lot.
yeah,
supposedly it's being adopted at a faster rate than Pokemon Go.
I've definitely played it more than
more
Pokemon
people have
Go.
phones now.
I didn't really play Pokemon Go that
And more
much because I
kids
didn't
have their
walk
own
anywhere.
phones than did back then, probably.
It's true. I like this one better than Pokemon Go. I mean, I remember fucking around with that, but it would have been a lot more fun if I commuted on foot more, But it was like, I couldn't play it while I was driving. Like,
It's apples and oranges, really.
it
They're
wouldn't let
different
me.
games.
It wouldn't let me do it, but I would do it. I remember I would fuck around with it sometimes when I was waiting, and I do remember that one time we went to when we went to Indy 500, and we like went inside the racetrack and all that. I like got like all the Pokestops like from the inside of the Indianapolis racetrack and all. Like, that was cool.
I just
like,
remember
doing,
they
like,
were all
doing that
car
stuff.
typed Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't remember what was there, but I remember it was cool at the time when we went there. And
Lightning
like,
McQueenamon. He's my favorite one.
And it was, I mean, I'm sure there is like a car type Pokemon. There's a bunch. I mean, there's an ice cream one and a trash bag. So, I mean, I'm sure there's, I love Trubbish. Trubbish is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's a giant fucking trash bag walking around. That's what we need.
It's the world I want to live in.
But yeah, we can, I think we can move on from there. Did you get to play EcoGnomix at all, or EcoGnomix?
I'll say we should say
guess?
drop if you're listening, drop your friend code if you want to play this game with us.
Yeah, send it to our I don't know. You could send it to me or send it to our Facebook group, our NintenDomain Facebook group, or you can message me on Twitter, Nintendo_domain.
We could just make a post
whatever.
on the Facebook and be like, "Hey, drop your."
Yeah,
here.
I should do that. I'll just do a post around and see if anybody's playing it and if they want to share codes or whatnot. I thought about that.
I'd be interested in like doing kind of like we're doing right. Well, we're podcasting, but you know what I mean. Talking while we play it.
Trying to do a online Discord thing. It's a shame you can't. I mean, I could stream it. I would have to like just put a camera behind it, but it would look so stupid.
I wonder if I could cast it to my TV and then run that into my computer. through the thingy.
Maybe. I don't know.
That would be a bit of an undertaking, but if it worked, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially since it doesn't need like latency isn't that big of a deal in this game.
It's true. But we should move on from there. Have you?
Yes.
Did you get to fuck around with the EcoGnomix at all?
I played a little bit of it. I mean, very small amount, and it didn't really seem my cup of tea initially. But I need to go back and give it another chance. It was kind of late at night. I was about to go to bed, and I was like, I just want to try it a little bit before I go to sleep. And I was sort of vibing with it, but then I was like, I gotta go to bed. And then that's the last time I played it.
I'll tell you, as far as like roguelites go, and I think this one is pretty light on the roguelite, but I actually understand it. Like, and I like roguelites, but I'm not very good at them. Like, I like Peglin, but I just die all the time on that game. But
You're supposed to.
No, I know, but I mean, at least this seems like there's more. So what's cool about it is so we did get a code. We got a code from Wiretap Media. We got a couple codes. And they they sent it to us to check it out. It's cool they sent us two, so I gave one to Jeremy as well. And I actually did a stream of it. You can watch it on YouTube, just to give them some extra whatever, give them the NintenDomain bump, as they say. But no, it's I've been enjoying it. Basically, the way it works is there's two different things. So there's the city building aspect, where you can kind of build like these different factories and stuff on top. But the main thing is you go down into the mine, and you basically, you use like, you'll get a certain amount of wood, and you use the amount of wood to create different gnome types. And there's like, so you want two different gnomes. You want the gnomes that can cut up the trees and stuff to get wood, and you get the gnomes that can kill the animals to get food. And the idea is you have to collect a certain amount of food, because at the end of every turn, there's this amount of bats that'll come and eat your food. So you have to keep your food stock high, because if your food goes away, the bats will eat you, and you have to leave the mine and come back. And you basically want to go as far as you can, and there's 3 different boss battles, like within one mine. Like you'll fight like the boss. There'll be like 3 sets of life, and you beat the first set, and then it's like, okay, you won, and then you go back, and then you got to go deeper, and then you got to do two health bars, and then you got to go back, and then you got to go all the way down, and then you got to do 3 health bars for one boss. And once you beat that boss, then you get to go to a different an area with different mines and all that. But a lot of it is juggling your amount of food and your wood amount and all that. And I've gotten to, like, I can only make like 4 gnomes at once. I'm sure I can make more. But as you collect the wood and gold and stuff in the mine, you take it up and you use the wood to make it into like more refined wood, which you can use to like unlock new different classes and different different like specialties that your gnomes can do and whatnot. So they kind of like they work together. Like it's the overhead thing and it's the underground thing. And the reason I like it is because it's turn-based. I think that's what's really cool about it. You basically just put your gnomes where you want them to do things, and then you just hit a button, and then they go through the turn, and then whatever they gather in that time is what will help you exist to the next thing. So you go through and say there's like chickens that you'll fight. There's a lot of chicken type things in this game. There's little mini chickens that you kill that are really easy that will give you like one food type. But there's also like chicken trees that you run into later that are like part chicken, part tree. And there's also this whole thing about like the wood choppers, they can only fight plants, but like the huntress and like the boomeranger and all these other guys can fight like animals. So it'll say like what they are, and there's hybrids where like you can both fight the same. So like when you fight the chicken thing that you fight at the end, that's another giant flying chicken thing that you fight as the boss. It's a hybrid, so you can attack it with all of your characters at once and all that sort of thing. And there's some bosses that are like, I found this chicken tree thing. I found like a chicken thunder god or whatever that when I destroyed it, it like struck lightning on everything, kind of destroyed the whole area. And your characters can die, but then you can recreate them, but you just use like wood to recreate them. But I think I like the turn-based aspect of it. Like I think it's going to be a really good like editing game for me, or like a good podcast game, because it doesn't really, it's kind of strategy, but it's not real-time strategy. Like the last couple games I got from them were real-time ones, and I tried them, but I'm not very good at it. I was just getting killed. I guess the one that was kind of like the RPG that's on Super Nintendo, they did a re-release of it on Switch. You know what I'm talking about? ActRaiser. The one that's like ActRaiser. I did okay on that one. Like I beat a couple levels where it's like a tower defense, but it's like an action tower defense. That's how a lot of Axe Razor stuff is. That isn't the 2D action levels. I did okay with that one, but there was another one that was like a polygonal. There was like a real time strategy one that I was just getting destroyed. But this one I've actually done pretty well. Like I'm 2/3 of the way through the first cave set. Like I beat the boss twice, and I got all the way to the final boss. Like I got all the way to him one time, and then I still ended up losing. But like I said, a lot of it is the food management, and all the different. You'll go from like room to room in the mines, and you can pick different ones. Like you'll pick one that has more wood in it, or you'll pick one that has more food in it, or there's ones that you can get to where you can upgrade your gnomes, and it takes a certain amount of wood for that. And what that's kind of funny is it shows the two upgrades next to each other, but there's also like a pile of food next to them, and you can actually just steal the food, and then they won't upgrade you. But you can steal the food from them in case you really need food, and they'll be like, oh, well, fuck you. We don't like burglars or whatever, and then you don't get any upgrades, and then you just go through. But I like that it's an option that you can steal food from the upgraders or whatever. And you can like unlock different upgrades like through the top stuff, and building, and you can build stuff where you can make extra food, so you'll have like an extra surplus of food when you go down, and like same thing with wood and that sort of thing. And you unlock different stuff. Like I got the ninja gnome that has like 2 katanas, and they can actually fight the food and the trees at the same time. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. I recommend giving it another look. Like I think it's pretty simple, and it's not that much. It's on sale to the 20th right now for $15.99, and I think it's normally $19.99. And it looks like there's like 3 or 4 like different cave types that you go to, and the map will also expand to those areas as well, because you can kind of see on top side like all the different things that they have there. And I was gonna try to play through it because I've actually been enjoying it. And like I said, it's gonna be a real good you don't have to fully pay attention to it, but you can kind of play it and set the controller down, and like podcast type games. So yeah. So thanks again. Thanks for the code and all that.
Yeah, thank you.
And it was I thought the video I put together was pretty good. So check that out on youtube.com/NintenDomain podcast. Just put that up yesterday. I wanted to give them see if that gets any more people to look at it, because I think it's pretty cool. But Jess and I, we've been playing Echoes of Wisdom still. You have that game, John. You should try playing it sometime. I just it's a good game for us to both play because it's like top down, and it doesn't really it has less like a camera angles that might make you sick and all that. But no, we were playing it last week and this week, and what is it? I made it we made it to the Gorons, so you get to see how cute the Gorons are in 2D, because they've never really been in like in a 2D Zelda game, so you can see like how they look and that sort of art style. And I made it through that dungeon, and I've just been once I got the level 3 Moblin, the level 3 sword Moblin, who's pretty much OP. I've been trying my hardest to not use the Link ability at all. I'm like, fuck this game. I'm just not doing Link ever. And I did. I made it through the whole thing, and I beat the boss without using Link. And that was what my nickname was earlier, because you get to a point where you can throw crows out, and they only count like one. They only count for like 1 point, and I have like 5 or 6 points. So you can kind of just hammer the button and just throw, as I said, like throw a murder of crows at somebody, and you can drop like a group of 6 crows, and they'll just go and just eat up the guy. And that's how I beat the boss in the Goron dungeon, because it'll go into this lava, and you can't like actually get to it. So I couldn't throw the Moblin over there because you can't walk on the lava. But if you throw the birds come and dive bomb the guy. And since they only count like 1, you can do like a bunch of them. You can do like a mob of them, and they'll just be like just dive bombing and just taking out.
That's
the guy.
awesome.
So it's fun. I'm still pecking away at that one. There's a pun for you. And what was it? We got to this side mission where this guy is trying to find his cat, and you get to get a cat suit where you can walk around and talk to cats, which I love that. That's kind of calling back to Twilight Princess, right? Where you could go around and talk to all the animals and whatnot. But yeah, we what was it? In order to do it, you have to get this one cat to move, so you can dig under where the cat is sleeping, and then you return like this stash of money to the lady who has the cat suit, and she'll give you the cat suit and all that. And I was trying to get the cat to move, and I had just gotten this firework thing, and I just set up all these fireworks next to the cat exploding, but the cat didn't wake up. But I ended up dropping a cooked fish that I had, a cooked fish echo, and that got the cat to move. And then you use a little mole guy to dig underground, and then you can get the coins out and all that. And then they tell and eventually they tell you where the cat is, and you go find the cat, and it's fun. It's a cute little game, and I like playing it. I'm planning on I hope to beat this one before the end of the year. It's a lot easier. It's not like 300 hours like the other one, so I can get through it. And speaking of getting through stuff, I got through the Romancing Saga 2 demo. This is kind of off the wall, and I know I kind of made fun of it when it got announced, just because I already have Romancing Saga 2 on Switch, but this is the new 3D one, and it's been getting really good reviews. I saw, Nintendo World Report was really talking well on it, and I always wanted to figure out these Saga games, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play the demo of this, because I think one of our listeners recommended it as well. But I made it through. It's like a 2-hour thing, and I think what's interesting about it is your leveling's a little bit different. Like you basically level by stuff that you do instead of like actual level, And this is, this is a game. This is a Super Famicom game, but it still feels kind of like new now, even like 40 years later, or whatever. But so like when you use a character, you upgrade your life bar, or you upgrade your amount of magic points, just from finishing a battle. Or if you use a sword, you upgrade your sword ability. Or if you use like a arrow, you upgrade your arrow ability, and so on and so forth. Is the way it works. And the art style kind of looks like Dragon Quest XI, sort of like some of those newer Square Enix games, like the Legend of Mana and that sort of thing. And it's an RPG-ass RPG. And sometimes when we're dealing with this hellscape that we have here, it's good to throw yourself into something that's comfy, like an RPG-ass RPG. It's very old school, but I like it. And I like the way the upgrading works. And I guess you have life points, so there's permadeath in it too. Like that's a big thing that makes it different from other games. So if you run out of life points, you die for good. But the idea is you can carry your abilities to like your next of kin or whatever. So there's different generations of characters. Like in the 2-hour demo, you basically your father gets killed, and your father's abilities go to you, and that's the way the demo ends. So it's already got some decent story stuff going on there, and his life points get depleted, and your brother gets killed too pretty early. There's a lot of death happening, but and then that carries on to you, and you can choose how you want your characters to develop depending on what items you want to use or whatever. But it was a fun thing to play while I'm waiting for Dragon Quest III HD, which is coming out today in like 24 minutes. So I'll probably stream that one as well. But it's on, it's one that I'm hoping to get. It's on my Black Friday list with Sonic X Shadow. Whenever those go on sale, I'll probably get one or both of them. And also, we watched all the episodes of Dan to Dan. It's great.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, no, we had actually watched a couple of them, but we watched the rest of them on Veterans Day, and
funny.
It's a great show.
It's got a really good sense of humor to it, I think. The first episode's a little rough, but after that, I don't think it's been as bad.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been enjoying it a lot. And we also watched that Look Back movie that was done by the guy who did Chainsaw Man. Have you watched that yet on Amazon Prime? That's really good, too. It's more serious and more rooted in reality, but it looks...
Is it a movie?
It's like an hour long, but yeah, it was released in Japan as a movie.
Is it like live action or?
No, it's animated.
It's an anime.
It's an anime. It's an anime, but it's called Look Back, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and we watched it today before this podcast, and it's very pretty. It looks very nice. It's good stuff. I don't want to say anything about it because I might spoil it, but yeah, it's under an hour long, and it looks gorgeous. So
I'll check it out.
But why don't we take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about other stuff.
Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go!
And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
Well, we're back from the break. I'm all done with my stuff. Who wants to go next?
John, you can go next. I don't really have much to talk about.
Okay, so I got the DLC, or the back half of the DLC that I bought, like, what was it, 3 weeks ago or so, for Atari 50, which is the first console war. So it's about Intellivision, and it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. So what it really is it's not Intellivision games, here in this Atari 50 collection. It is the Intellivision ports that came out for Atari 2600.
Oh, interesting.
So it's even more interesting. It also makes me realize that they could do a whole Intellivision collection somewhere down the road, and they probably should. But I guess so. Back in the day, there was Intellivision. It came out as a competitor to Atari 2600. And they go into the founding of that, and they have interviews with, people who were there and all that. But as far as the games that are included on this collection, along the timeline, there's a point where they talk about Mattel, who owned Intellivision, says, we're competing with Atari, but we also have an opportunity to make money if we put these games out on Atari. And so it was like a weird situation. Where they didn't quite know the rules yet because it was the first generation. And so they were making the competitor system, but they were also putting their exclusive games out onto the competitor system, onto the Atari. And so they changed the names on most of them. There's like one game that had the same name, but they would call each game a different name and just put it out on the Atari. And so that's what we got here in this collection right now. There's some just the same as before. There's some good ones, and there's other ones that are just kind of okay, but all of them are at least interesting presented in this context. And so I had a good 2 nights just digging in and playing through this. I did beat the whole thing, get through the whole thing. I felt it was a little bit shorter than the previous one that came out, but nope, not a big deal because I paid for these together. And, they were basically like one package. So.
It was like $11 or something like that too, right? Yeah. It wasn't all that much.
Yeah, it was not very much. So I enjoyed that. I already thought that the Atari 50 collection was the best video game collection that I've ever played, and this just makes it even better. So 0 complaints. I was already fully satisfied with just the base game, and this is it keeps getting better. It's the benchmark for sure. all the other collections that come out need to be like Atari 50, and there's no going back from this point.
Are you thinking about getting the Tetris Forever that's out now?
Definitely. I want to get all of them. I'll put that on the record. I want to get all of them.
Yeah, the Karateka
And the Jeff Mitchell one.
whatever else,
and
yeah.
Karateka, yep. If they're making a new Gold Master game, I'm getting it eventually. I think these are great.
I was looking at the Tetris one, and I don't know. I love Tetris. I just really didn't want to pay $35 for it.
But
Yeah.
for
what's on. I know it's like the videos, and you could see the true story of Tetris. They what was it? 8-4 was making a joke about it, where they're like, they should have a thing where it just shows like the stuff from the Tetris movie and just shows you what the actual story is, and just compare it and be like, hey, this is how they got all of this wrong. Here it is. There's the actual version of it. No, I am interested in the videos and stuff like that that's in there, but
Yep.
I'm kind of on a limited budget right now for games, and I can't bring myself to spend $35 on another Tetris game since I already have like 6 of them on Switch. And from what Jeremy has said, Bombless isn't really a whole lot to write home about, or Hatris or whatever else is on there. I kind of wish they would have done more newer Tetris stuff. Put like Tetris Sphere on there or something. I don't know. Maybe in the future they will, but
yeah, maybe there'll be DLC, and if they just looked at the price and said, well, you want to do it at this price, and that's what we can do for right now.
From some of the reviews that I saw, they were saying that it was like they kind of wish there was more on there that wasn't just Tetris. Like Go is on there, the game Go, and I guess a lot of people are like, oh, I was excited about that, but that's just the only other non-Tetris thing, I guess, unless you count like Hatris or whatever, which Hatris looked kind of stupid from what I could tell, but I don't know. And it was on sale for $30, but I guess that was a pre-sale sale because it went away. So whatever. Yeah, maybe if it goes on sale down the line. I definitely want to try it out, but I wasn't willing to drop $35 on it yet.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because everybody's played Tetris, so what will be the reaction to this one? And I would say to those people who are like on the fence or not interested, that you need to look at these Gold Master games as like a nice, weekend binge on a limited series, like you would for a television show.
It's kind of like a class, right? But like an interesting class or seminar, maybe interactive seminar.
I thought it was kind of. You were saying it's kind of like a long documentary or something, or at least like the Atari one is, right? Like an interactive documentary where there's parts that you can play. I guess that's what I can't even really I'm sure it'd be fun, but most of the time I want to play a game. I don't want to watch a movie, even though I do play games that have rather long cutscenes in them, but I still get to play. It's not like Metal Gear Solid 2, where you got to wait like an hour to tap a button.
There's few things in this world that are actually new anymore, and this is kind of verging on something that's actually pretty new. That's a lot of people have said about as much, but now I'm saying it. These
it's a new style.
Gold Masters, yeah. It's like not quite a movie, not quite a game. It's
a Goofy.
It's a Goofy. That's exactly it.
Starring Goofy.
And so you
starring
the Goofy movie.
The slimes from Dragon Quest.
You got to be in the mood for a Goofy when you are using this product, and that's exactly just the attitude that you got to have. It's just something new, and you got to be in the mood for this thing.
It would make sense you would like it too, based on your love of old CD-ROMs and stuff. Like you kind of got this built into you. You want your media interactive, like you're sitting at the public library.
Yeah, it's the multimedia. Oh,
looking at the microfiches.
Back when everything was multimedia, this is it. Gold Series
instead of just media.
Yep, many media. So yeah, I'm all in for Atari 50, and everybody should go get that and get all the DLC because it's fantastic. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that I tried Japanese mayonnaise.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of. There's a lot of Japanese mayonnaise. I think you've tried it before because it's on most sushi rolls.
Probably so.
I mean, most
but
sushi rolls have
it
different.
For yourself.
I never just purchased it
have
for
different
myself.
mayonnaise types on there.
I was at Costco and they had it there, and I needed mayonnaise, and I said, "Well, let me just try this one." And so it's called Kewpie mayonnaise, Kewpie, and come to find out. That Kewpie, which I had known this, but I forgot about it. Kewpie is like a series of dolls.
Yeah, they were basically like collectible figures way back before like people knew that was a
precious
thing.
Moments or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of what they are. Yep,
they're like a they're basically like they're like naked kids without genitals, right?
That's exactly it. Someone looked at that and thought mayonnaise.
I mean that's
do
a
it.
lot of dolls.
Well, that's all. I know that's all dolls, but I'm saying that's kind of like this. If you really want to boil it down, it's like a cherubic naked child.
Well, I mean that's that's like the icon for the mayo too, right? It shows the naked
the
child
bottle is
without a
shaped-
wiener.
It's like
yeah.
it's not a honey bear. It's a Kewpie bear. Well, right now it's a mayo Kewpie. There we go.
yeah.
Well, this bottle is not Kewpie shaped. It's just that's the character that's on. It's like when you get Popeye brand spinach or whatever. That's that kind of thing. But
No, it's kind of like it's like a tall, skinny plastic bottle, and it like kind of when you squeeze it, it doesn't suck the air back in, so it kind of like stays fresh. So
It's
the more you use it, like the more squished up looking the container looks because it's not like sucking the air back in.
I'll grab it real quick. We'll look at this bottle. Hold on a second.
You gotta
When John gets back, I'll tell my Kewpie mayo story. It's not that exciting, but I do have a story.
I never really cared to
I
get
bought
it.
it
I've
for,
seen it. It's
I
more.
bought it for jazzing up ramen, like
Oh.
on the cheap, and it does.
I saw. I was just poking around. It said that it's more. It's more like egg yolks than just regular eggs, right? It's like the difference.
That's what
of
it's made out of. It's made out of more egg yolk and not just egg whites, like
Yeah.
the mayo we're like accustomed to. And I think it's probably got MSG and stuff in it too to make
Well,
it
I
extra
mean-
tasty.
MSGs and tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's
There it is, the Kewpie.
It's natural.
Well, it's
Mayonnaise
not.
bottle.
That's not it. It's not MSG, but it is like similar compounds.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
MSG is a fully synthetic thing, as far as I know.
Well, it occurs naturally in tomatoes. MSG does.
Not MSG, but glutamines or whatever they're called, glutamic acids.
The first
But
ingredient.
MSG is a synthesized version of that.
Mm.
First ingredient is soybean oil, and so that's pretty much what it tastes like. It tastes like mayonnaise with like soy sauce in it. That's what it tastes like to me.
See, to me, it tastes like
It's the
deviled
egg
eggs.
yolks. Yeah, we were just talking about it's made with egg
feel like I'm
yolks
just
and not
eating an
egg
egg,
whites
a
or
deviled
whatever, right?
So my Kewpie mayo story, and it's not that great, but several years ago, I bought a bottle of it for making. I watched a YouTube video where somebody was like, take a cheap thing of ramen, and then you take it's just, I think it was even before like I was watching TikTok or anything. Just somebody I watched on YouTube who's like, take a little bit of you like boil the noodles, and then you take out some of the water, put it in a like container, and then you like add an egg yolk, and then you like put a little bit of Kewpie mayo, and you stir it really, really fast, and you make like an emulsified like sauce out of it, and then you put that back into your noodles. It's pretty good.
Make it like thicker.
Yeah, it just gives it more flavor, and it gives it like kind of like coats all the noodles and makes it creamier, and it's just it classes it up for not that much extra. But I bought it and I was like, this is so good, and I actually like kept putting it on everything, and I got like I think I ate too much of it and got sick
Yeah.
because I went through like half a bottle in a day.
Oh, jeez. Gross.
Yeah, I couldn't stop eating it. It tastes like deviled eggs.
I do like deviled eggs a lot. There were supposed to be deviled eggs at the Halloween party that I went to, and I should have asked about them. I totally forgot.
It's like basically
And now I
deviled egg
regret it,
spread.
because deviled eggs.
I can taste that. To me, I think it's more like a soy sauce or something. Like I don't know if I would use it as
Like
my
it's
primary
salty?
mayonnaise, but I would definitely keep it around for other occasions. Like
Mayonnaise
it-
parties.
It's in my Rolodex in my brain now.
It's good for making a sauce out of.
Yeah.
You could even just take that and add like some wasabi to it, or add some like bonito, or you could add a lot of different stuff to it and give it a fun little Asian flavor.
Yeah, I like it. You can get it at Costco now.
I've seen it around. It's
I think they have it
various
at-
places.
It's like sometimes you'll see it in the section at the grocery store, but like the international section, but it's usually a lot more expensive than going to like an Asian mart, which we are getting like a couple of those closed down in my area recently, which is sad. The ones I used to go to, but we're supposed to be getting that H Mart at
Oh,
some
yeah?
point, and it's here in town. It's like
We got like 3 H Marts here that I know of. I
it'd
think there's more.
be like directly across the street from my job.
Oh, nice. Yeah, H Mart.
So,
Well,
yeah,
did you ever go to the H Mart? The one that
I've never been
did
to
I ever
H
take
Mart.
you over there?
never
well,
been
I
to
mean,
H Mart.
there's the big H Mart in Arlington, or is that where Mitsu is? Anyway, it's just out of Chicago in the suburbs. Was the first H Mart I went to, but they got a huge food court and a bunch of other shit. And the H Mart is funny because they have like 10 other stores like attached to it, and the names of them are hilarious. Like there's like the Face Shop, and you can buy like a toilets with bidets and all that, like on the way out. It's a great place. I thought
The
maybe
H is for hemorrhoids.
I thought maybe I'd taken you over there before. And there's an H Mart downtown now that we've been to, which is much smaller. But there's been a bunch more of them have popped up around here.
I'm hoping it does well. I'm thinking it will, and it's also going to be like really good for the area, like the businesses around that area, because we could use a little bit in this, like, because like I live in a compound city, so I live in Urbana, not Champaign. Urbana is like, I don't know, the downtown in Urbana is struggling compared to Champaign, which is also struggling, but not quite as much. I think COVID hit Urbana harder. I will say that.
Probably so.
Also, whatever their laws are, like there's like a guy who owned a couple different businesses that pulled out because of whatever the local stuff was, the statutes or whatever. He closed he had a restaurant and a bar, and he closed both recently, and that was sad. Whatever.
Yeah. What else? Do you have anything else to say for your stuff, Jeremy?
I didn't have anything to say other than I was sort of kind of kidding about the Balatro thing, but I signed up for a trial of Apple Arcade because I was able to, just so I could try it because it's on there.
Yeah, so you can.
I wanted to see what it was like on the mobile, and it's great. It works awesome. I had never really played it touchscreen before, so I don't know if it's the same way the touchscreen controls work on the Switch, but it took a little bit of getting used to. But once I did, and I turned the speed all the way up because that's how I play it now.
Because you're so fast.
It's not that I'm fast; it's that I'm impatient.
Yeah, you played the game. You played the game like a billion times. So
I have. I don't need to read card descriptions. I can just recognize what they look like. So
yeah, you can recognize.
Best recognize, and then we're both real, so we see each other. I know I played a little bit of Switch this week, but honestly, mostly it's been the week of mobile. I played Peglin. I played, played a little bit of the Balatro, and then I got Pokemon yesterday and didn't look back. It's been a weird year for mobile for me because I don't know. It's changing. The landscape is changing, and I'm surprised that I'm like adapting to it. I think a big part of that is that battery life on phones finally caught up to gaming on phones.
Mobile is a lot cheaper too because you had a lot of expenses this year.
Oh
and,
yeah.
I'm
still I haven't bought a game since. It's been several months since I bought a game.
Even Peglin is like almost like, I know. I guess it is. It's over half, right? Because it's like $8 on $8 or $9 on the mobile compared to Switch.
That was the last game I bought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and the Switch one is like 20. So I was saying most, and I think it's the same. Like Balatro is like 20 on Switch, and it's like
I think it's 10 on mobile.
Yeah, it's 10 on mobile.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get Metaphor whenever I do buy a game. That's probably gonna be
That's what you decided on.
Well,
we're pretty close to.
I haven't
Black Friday.
I haven't been hearing you rave about Ease 10, so
I like it. I just haven't. I just haven't played it a lot, I guess.
As much as I loved Ease 10, I think Metaphor was grabbing my fancy better, and I think it's got more. I think by the time I get through with that, I might hop into I might want to play like Ease 8 or something.
Well, if you get
some people say that was the last good Ease game.
Ease 8's my favorite still.
But that was really it for me. And this week I'm still gaming on the cheap and having fun with it. I didn't really watch anything. I guess we finished Boardwalk Empire this week, but we've been watching that for a while.
Yeah, I never finished. I don't know. I thought it kind of.
The last season was.
Could
have been a spin-off of its own. I felt.
I will say it still has one of the worst intros of any show ever. Like that, the intro does not capture the feel of the show whatsoever, and the song on there is so wrong. I always hated.
It's almost as bad as Star Trek Enterprise, but not quite.
I love that song though.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I like Star Trek.
Intro on a TV show I've ever seen.
I think the Boardwalk Empire one is worse.
I used to hate the MASH theme when I was a kid, and I would have said that for years. But now that I've watched the entire series, I like that song.
I always skipped it because it was like this song is like nothing that would have played at the time, and it sucks, and
we always skipped it. I have to say
skipped. It's terrible.
Not just skip. It's past tense.
Anyway,
no more Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, he's in other things.
I gotta go on a Steve Buscemi kick.
speaking of watching things, did anybody watch the Nintendo Direct? The Nintendo
I did.
Super Nintendo World Direct.
Yeah, I watched it because I'm hopefully going to go to it. Not the direct, but what they talked about.
To Super Nintendo World.
It'll be open by the time I'm there.
So they added, because it's opening this year, right? It's opening next month. So they're adding the Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country.
Well, yeah, Donkey Kong Country, just country. I want to call it like Donkey Kong Country Land or whatever, but I mean, I guess that's what
I thought it looked pretty cool. It's definitely captured that Donkey Kong vibe, and it's cool that they're making the park a little bigger. And I've heard the Japan one was at least bigger than the Hollywood one. So there's a lot of folks who were complaining about that one, but still, it's just cool that they're adding a whole nother land and making
I think when it opens
more value.
I think when it opens at Universal Florida, it's going to probably be closer to the Tokyo size, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
And they're going to get the expansion. I don't think the one in California is getting the expansion, at least not that I know of.
Yeah, I think they're not going to get it. Yeah.
But what did you think? Speaking of being a bit bigger, what did you think of the giant DK bongos?
Yeah,
that was cool. I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, there's that.
There's a little piece of the Nintendo Museum right there on display for everyone, which I hope those things are extremely durable. Like, obviously, they got to be able.
They're
withstand
huge.
The elements.
Like I hope
they can play like Blink 182 and Happy Birthday and all the classics.
I thought it was a little bit of a cop out. They didn't have a screen, but maybe it's hard to see in the sun. Like maybe it just made sense to have the big flashing lights instead.
Yeah, just two lights that you
that you match,
and you can find letters. Wouldn't you always want that to pay like hundreds of dollars to go to a place where you can find just a random K floating around? I mean, that's just, man.
I mean, I heard K is hard to get in Japan, so maybe that's how you got to do it.
Just so interactive. Was it just me? Did they show any of the roller coaster? I know they talk about it, but did they actually show it?
Like as you're going into the barrel,
he purposely was like, "We can't ruin it" or whatever he said. So they showed like you crest the hill and you kind of see the Golden Temple off in the distance, and he's like, "Whoop, that's it."
Yeah, because I wanted to see the roller coaster, and I was like, did I like blink and miss it? Like what happened there? But
yeah, they didn't should have at least explained. I mean, if you're a fan and you're following these things,
isn't
you know
like the technology pretty cool?
You know that it shoots you out of the barrel and you cross a gap and all that kind of stuff.
So what he did say to me that's very telling, and I don't mean to be a party pooper. Well, this might be good news for some people, but he said, if you don't normally like roller coasters, you'll still probably like this. So I don't think it's going to be a very intense ride.
Oh, sure.
I think it's probably similar to the Mario Kart ride where it's meant to be like for kids more. Like we're families, they'll say, but so kids can ride it as well. And it's not like you have to be this tall to ride or whatever, because that's their demographic in this case.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, yeah. I wish these theme parks, to me, we got Cedar Point over here, we're pretty fortunate. And I think I was spoiled from a young age thinking that every theme park would have roller coasters like Cedar Point does.
Yeah, I've never been there.
I've
heard it's the best.
It is the best. It's the best in the world. And it's
Kings
right
Island
here.
in Ohio is like the best place I've been to as far as roller coasters go to, I'd say.
So like as far as roller coaster enthusiasts, everything I keep hearing again and again that Cedar Point is their favorite park in the world.
Yeah.
And so
we went to Kings Island for my senior trip in high school, which is when I went. So I've been to a lot of theme parks since then. I still recall that being the most fun roller coasters. But my brother's class, 5 years later or whatever, they got to go to Cedar Point, and he was convinced that he was going to move there. He was going to work at the park, and he made all these friends, and that was going to be his life. He was going to work at the park, that park, because it was that great. So, I mean, it definitely made an impression on him. Maybe more so than it would have made on me, but yeah, he really seemed to vibe with it. So I've always wanted to go there with that kind of a recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, we should make it a trip sometime because I'd be looking for people to go with. Sure, I've been about 10 years.
Is it in Michigan? No,
it's in
Ohio.
Sandusky.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I know I went to Kings Island, but I don't.
It's at Jerry's
remember.
House. No, that's in Pennsylvania.
But I don't think I ever went there, or maybe I did and I just forgot about it. I don't know. But apparently,
so that's been my benchmark ever since. I think it was 7 the first time I went to Cedar Point, maybe 6 even. And so I've just had a lifetime of disappointment of roller coasters and theme parks. And my major critique of Disney World, because I've been to Disney World 4 or 5 times, is that there's no actual theme park or thrill rides at Disney World. And I just think like that's the one thing they're really missing is a little corner where for people who really like, fast, tall, steep roller coasters.
That's the thing, though. It couldn't be a little corner. Those require a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But in the grand scheme of things, a park like Disney World has, thousands of acres and all that stuff. Like, I think they could use
Sure.
one park, and Marvel would be a great excuse for them to do it. They own the Marvel brand. That should be the thrill ride.
Did you ever
park.
go to Islands of Adventure, like at Universal Park, which was the Marvel place? Did you ever go there?
No.
And I went there in Florida with my sister, and that before Disney owned Marvel, that was the Marvel amusement park, and it was really cool. Like they had this Hulk ride that was pretty big. That would be like you'd be like powering up, and it shoots you out of this thing. It's supposed to be like your anger, and then you go through different stuff. And there was like the Doctor Doom drop, which is basically like the same, where it takes you up and drops you or whatever. But the intro of it was pretty cool because it had all this animation and all this stuff about trying to kill the Fantastic Four and all that, and the line was neat, but the actual ride was kind of stupid.
I will kill them by rising up in the air and falling fast.
Yeah, pretty much. But I like the presentation of it. There's a picture of me out somewhere, like standing in front of the Doombots, but it was cool because they had all these, they had all this cool nerd shit. Like they had they had like the Murdoch and Foggy, like they had the Daredevil. Their like law practice, like they had like the house of that. It was like all this stuff. They're like the Baxter Building for the Fantastic Four, and you could like eat in there. What's supposed to be like the cafeteria of the Baxter Building, and it had all this fun shit in there, and a bunch of different superhero themed rides. And I don't know what became of that, or if they're getting rid of it, or what's. For last I heard, I think it's on its way out if it isn't out already. But I always thought that was really cool, and they'd have like they have like parades with like people dressed in Wolverine suits and like in like go-karts and stuff like that driving around, and it was all the shit. But I don't know if they're gonna, I was like what's gonna happen to Islands of Adventure? Like, is it gonna, I don't know, I guess it's gonna become something else, or I don't know. It's been, last time I was there was like early 2000s.
On Marvel and Disney World and all that, like I know that there was some restrictions to where they couldn't have certain, like Universal still owned the rights to have theme park characters in Florida, and so that's why there wasn't really anything going on for Disney's owned Marvel for well over a decade now. But now they've opened the Avengers campus, and so I think things are maybe shifting on that. I don't know, but as far as Nintendo is concerned, my hope for them is for these theme parks is that they just put in like at least one real roller coaster eventually, whether it's F-Zero Land, whenever that opens up.
F-Zero would be the one that would have loop-de-loops,
Yeah,
right? Because those are actually in there,
right? Just like, or Star Fox, it gives do one like real roller coaster for the people who like roller coasters, and that would draw in a lot of people.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
You gotta appease, for a theme park. You have to appease everybody, not just the kids and the fair weather fans or whatever. But you got to do like a real roller coaster, at least one or two, some thrill rides, please.
I will, say quite plainly, I would, if I weren't doing the podcast, maybe I would still, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't even be all that excited about going to Nintendo World, but it's part of the trip to Japan, and it's, I got to go to it in Osaka, closer to where Nintendo had. It's pretty damn close to Kyoto.
Mm.
So, I'm close to the epicenter of the Nintendo boom. So that's the cool part to me. I don't think I've been trying to talk Sean into going to the museum, but I don't think it makes sense for our travel plans at all. I don't know. It's more about saying I went there and getting to see it with my eyes. I'm not expecting to get like the thrills of my life off the rides or anything. In fact, I don't even know if I'll ride the rides if the line's too long.
Well, you just got to go on the right day. Most of the time weekdays work out well. It didn't.
It's going to be based on.
Did not work out well for us, but I mean, hopefully it will for you. We went on a Monday, but I guess it was a Monday that had school off, and there were a lot of lines. But if you happen to go on a weekday where there isn't school, you probably
Well, you
should
didn't go to Nintendo World. Y'all were in Tokyo, right, the whole time?
We went to Disney World. We went to Tokyo Disney.
That's in Osaka? Oh, no, that's in Tokyo. Okay.
Well, it was in Tokyo, but we had to take the train for a really long time to get there. Like, it wasn't really by where we were. Like, I think we went the farthest away for that. Like, because we kind of had to go, like, really, really far out. And we went past the Gundam statue. Like, I saw it in the distance, the one that moves and all that. And it was pretty far. But, yeah, we went to Tokyo Disney, and we were going on a Monday because we thought nobody would be there. But I guess school didn't happen that particular day, and it was filled with people, and we had to wait for a long time. So that was, that's my comparison.
I don't know if I said on the show yet, but yeah, we have our tickets.
I saw that you got a ticket to there, yeah.
Yeah, we got our tickets to there.
No return. That means you got to stay there. No coming back.
I'm sure they'll love that.
Hey, if you're paying for your hotel or whatever, they don't give a shit.
They do.
I mean,
they don't like.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, no, if you're paying for your place, they're not gonna give a shit. But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit more interested in it with the Donkey Kong stuff. I do think the animatronics for Cranky Kong looks really fucking cool. Like that was probably that was the thing that I thought was the coolest out of the stuff I saw from the video. I was like, wow, Cranky Kong looks great. I wonder what he's saying in English. That was
I don't know how the animatronic Donkey Kong though was pretty cool. He was like walking around and stuff though.
Oh yeah, the guy wearing a Donkey Kong suit that hugged Miyamoto.
Man, that suit looks crazy uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was like, how does he see through that? Like, well, probably through his eyes, but like, where's his head? Because it's so.
I don't think he's seen through the eyes. He's probably seen through the chest. I think it's probably like the costume goes way above him.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I think so.
But it looks huge. It looks gigantic either way. But yeah, you can go around and scan letters and stuff and
with your bracelet. Your power-up band, which you can get a special banana edition for.
I was a little
disappointed
about the banana, forcing the banana stuff on you. Like, am I going to be able to eat anything there? I can't stand bananas. I think they're the most disgusting thing in the world. Like, it's like, here's a banana hot dog. Here's a banana other thing. Here's another banana.
I thought some of that.
It's like,
really good though.
I don't think the hot dog had any bananas on it. It didn't.
Yeah, it did. It had. Look at it. It's got banana shit on top of it. It even says, I'm looking at the video right now, a special type of hot dog.
Just a banana with some ketchup and mustard on it.
No, it's got a banana. It's got a banana sauce like right there.
You just soak a banana in liquid smoke.
It's yellow. Look at it. Look at it online. I'm looking at it right now. It's fucking yellow.
I believe you. I just.
I don't want it. I don't want a banana hot dog.
Can I get the hot dog sans bananas?
I guess I could.
Maybe it's banana peppers.
I guess I could screw. I mean, I like banana peppers, but it's definitely not banana peppers. It's a sauce. I mean, it kind of looks like soft serve, like a soft serve ice cream, but like squirted on it. Like it has that, or like when you're doing like when you're putting like icing on a cake, like it kind of has that like texture to it, like that. That's sort of what it looks like. But it looks like something I don't want to eat. That's what I'm getting at.
It has Doritos on it.
I'm curious about the food here. Like, I don't know. There was like one place we went to in Tokyo Disney that had like total trash food. So
was it Oscar the Grouch's spot?
That's Sesame Street.
I don't know. I was trying to be funny.
I'm looking at the Donkey Kong too. There's like there's no like, he wouldn't be able to see through his chest because there's a giant tie there.
Maybe the tie has a camera on it.
It'd have to be like
he thought that was his lav mic
through his mouth or his eyes or whatever. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't like modeled after the old Super Nintendo Donkey Kong, but yeah, I know they want to make it after the Wii one. Especially since they're re-releasing it again for $60 in January. So, but I was like, they should.
You wanted the whole park pre-rendered, pixelated.
Well, I just wanted to I wanted to like blend it in a little bit. And I remember he was talking about like,
hey, they'll blend in the banana into your milkshake at the banana.
Well, yes, they will. But and I was like kind of like where they're like, oh, here's Funky Kong's thing where you can buy stuff, and I was like, Funky Kong flew you to places. He didn't sell you stuff. I guess later he did in the Wii versions. I'm just saying, do the Super.
I think
Nintendo ones.
I think even though they briefly mentioned the Super Nintendo version, I think they're channeling the Donkey Kong Country Returns and beyond.
No, I know, because those are the ones that are re-released on Switch, and those are the ones that, and it makes.
And none of these kids are going to know about this 30-year-old game that. we knew about.
It's the good one though.
It's lost to the sands of time,
Yeah.
just like the sands of time.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, I mean they're re-releasing the fucking game at full price in January, so they want to rub that donkey dick in your face. That's what they want to do.
Jeez.
That's not a banana.
Anyway, let's talk about the news.
News. Don't snooze or you miss the news.
We already talked about Tetris Forever coming out this week at $34.99. But what else is coming out this week, which is actually out right now, it's playing on the TV behind me for all the patrons, is the game that I'm actually really excited about, and probably the reason why I won't play anything for a long time, is that Dragon Quest III HD 2D is out right now. That's the one that and it's gotten glowing reviews. I already watched a bunch of reviews today. Everybody loves it because it's one of the greatest games of all time. It's on the top 5 best RPGs ever, and I can't wait to play it. I think it looks gorgeous. It looks really pretty, and now is the time to immerse yourself in the Dragon Quest world. So I'm very excited to try it out after this podcast, and I'll be back next week to talk about it.
Is that 60 as well?
Dragon Quest 3 came out in 88, I think.
No.
What do you mean?
Right.
Oh, 60. I was like, it's not 60 years old. No, yeah, it is 60. It is.
Yeah, it's a
59.99.
60-year-old game.
It's $59.99. That's why
It was originally known as Space Wars, but now they call it Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why I bought the why I bought the discount Nintendo eShop cards from Sam's Club. Which, if you go to you're going to Costco, John, you can get discounts there too on Nintendo cards, or you should be able to. I thought they had the 10% discount as well. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I mean the games are usually $8 off or something.
No, I'm talking about you buy the eShop cards. And the eShop cards are 10% off. So if you buy, I bought $100 worth, and I got $11 off because I paid $89 for it. So if you want to get,
maybe I'll do that when I do my annual Christmas bonanza.
Yeah. So whenever, yeah.
Why not Christmas banana?
Too many bananas in this episode. We're gonna have to give people a warning.
Bananas and mayonnaise, like two major trigger foods there.
Bananas
for two people who live in this here house here. But yeah, Dragon Quest III is out now. It looks fucking gorgeous. Play it. What may look gorgeous, but probably not great. I don't care. Lego Horizon Adventures is out this week too for $60. It seems to be kind of meh, I guess, from what I heard. I never really watched a full review of it, but
holy shit, is it $60?
I didn't care to begin with. Oh yeah, it's $60.
Oh my god.
Yep, for Lego
Oh god, that's stupid.
I'm never gonna play that game.
I really thought it was going to be a budget title. I didn't realize this was going to be something that was like, even if you bought it on the PS5 or whatever, because you're a Horizon head, like, it still seems like too much.
I don't get the appeal of this at all.
I don't understand it either. And I watched a little bit of a Nintendo World Report review of it, and they were saying, and this was coming from somebody I guess who really liked Horizon. That was exactly what they said. They did not understand like what the point of this game was, or what they were even trying to do with it. Really, like they felt like it was kind of lost in its own its own identity is, or what the point of the game is.
This seems almost like Sony very purposely trying to expand the appeal of an IP that they own, and going to Lego and saying, like, we'll pay you if we can do this. And Lego was like, okay, whatever. That's kind of what it feels like to me. It's like, it doesn't make sense for Lego to be involved with this.
I wonder how much of it has to do with getting it onto, like, getting their Sony IP onto other platforms, like, easier.
Maybe.
It goes down smoother with Lego.
Maybe they should have just called it like Lego Sony.
If you're swallowing them, not if you're stepping on them.
They should just called it like Lego Sony game or something, and put a bunch of different stuff in there. Like
I agree.
Do like God of War and Horizon and Parappa, and like just put a bunch of make it like make it like
a bit like
we can do different
episodes or something.
You can do different parts of games, like what Lego Dimensions would be if you actually could afford all the shit for it. Like that sort of thing. I'd be more interested if it was that. If it was like Astrobot, Lego Astrobot or something like that, I might be more interested in it. I want a Lego Days Gone. That's what I want. That's the game that everybody really wants to play. But no, that game's out now. Was it the IREM Collection Volume 2 or whatever? That's coming out this week, $24.99. Still no Metal Storm on there, so I'm not getting it. But it's out there.
What a bizarre decision.
Yeah, to not put Metal Storm in there. It's probably going to come eventually in IREM Collection 12 or something, if they still have enough stuff left by then. Rage of Dragons Neo, which is another cool-looking 2D fighting game. It's coming out for $19.99 this week. I was kind of interested in it. The big thing that I've heard about on the internet is River City Girls 2 Double Dragon DLC is out now. It's out for $8. And actually, all the River City Girl games are on sale as well. So, was it 0, 1, and 2 are all half off. So, if you're interested in checking any of those out, that's where they're at. And 0 is supposed to look like a Genesis game or something. Like it's made like an older River City type game. I was always kind of interested in that one, and I think it's on sale for like $7 or something like that. So it's pretty cheap.
I forgot about that one.
I was always kind of
Still
interested
gotta
in
beat
it.
the first one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you ever wanted to get any of those River City Girls games, they're all on sale now. Yeah, I barely really touched one. Like I know Joe.
So isn't River City Girls like supposed to like throw the thing on its head about they're rescuing the boys instead or whatever?
Yeah, I think
So
they
you
were.
had the Double Dragon DLC. Is it just full circle or now you're like
I think it's
rescuing
just
Billy and Zane or whatever?
it's just adding them into the fold, but I think it also has their own
okay.
like it has their own story in there. Like I watched the trailer of it off of the eShop, and it's pretty funny. It's got this little rap in there, and they're kind of rapping back and forth. Billy and Jimmy are, and it's cute. And there's a Bobo and
Like
all
actually rapping or like they're
yeah,
just talking?
it's like a rap. No, they do like a rap song. You should listen to it. It's kind of stupid, but kind of funny at the same time. But yeah, no, I thought it was
Rap sells.
kind of funny. But yeah, that one's coming out as well. But I think those are the big releases for this week. And I guess I double downed it because John already put the Double Dragon thing on here, but I missed it.
That's appropriate. Doubling up.
Yep.
Remember the Double Dragon?
Yeah, I was gonna say I missed that drink, the Double Dragon drink. That was just two. It was just two mixed drinks.
It was
It's
just
like, what'd you get?
two Red Bull vodkas. They just give you two. Red Bull
Yeah.
vodkas.
You want a Double
It's
Dragon?
double-
Here you go. It's just two little drinks. It's like, all right, cool. Why not? It'll get you drunker and hyper quicker, whatever. Anyway, what's left? What's left in the news here?
Another one that's coming out this week. It's out already. Broken Sword: Shadow of the Templars Reforged.
Did we?
Nintendo Life. They
I felt-
reviewed it, gave it an 8 out of 10.
Oh,
It's a good score.
I felt like we talked about this one before. Maybe it was the Steam review or something, but I feel like we had already touched on it.
Maybe we did, but it's actually out this week. So that's on my wish list. Another one of the many games that I want to get this season that I will have to wait for later.
The speaking of stuff that's out now officially, I don't know if you saw this, but I guess there's a big update for the Grand Theft Auto trilogy that came
Yep,
out
I
where
saw
they
that.
actually like fixed everything, and now it is actually on Switch. When I posted it before, it said not on Switch yet, but I guess as of today, it's on Switch. So you should update that and see what it looks like. Apparently, I've seen like side-by-side pictures, and it looks really different. Like I guess they changed the skyline and they added fog, and
changed
there was
the
a bunch
lighting.
of stuff.
So
that,
that's
like,
something to do with the mobile
wasn't
version,
in there.
right? Like that's
Um,
what you posted.
Oh, I mean, the one that I had was on PS5, or some of it was. I don't know. But
Well, no.
I saw-
It brought like upgrades that were in the mobile version or something along those lines. I thought.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of just looked at some of the comparisons, and I just noticed that it wasn't on Switch. But as of today, I saw that it was updated, that it is on Switch now. So that's what I was just saying. Since John has it, you can try it out for free, and see. Yeah, it's like here it says, new. The rundown is classic lighting, fog is back. Grove Street games removed from studio lists. I don't know what that is. Combat changes. Characters are mostly fixed. Parallax interiors are gone. Crouching is fixed. Different weather. You can now pause in the cutscenes. You can fly through the clouds. I guess you couldn't do that before. But yeah, it was an update for the definitive edition, whatever. So about
Well, it
time.
took 2 years, but they're still plugging away at it.
Because I remember last time you said you played it, it was still janky, and you still couldn't leave your car or whatever.
Yeah, no,
Or
last
your
time I
girlfriend couldn't
I was-
leave your car.
I was on a date with my girlfriend and she wouldn't go home. She just stuck with me. Usually you go out to dinner and then
wife.
then she'll get tired and you have to drive her home, but she never got tired. So she was just sitting there as I was driving off hills and all that kind of crazy stuff.
It's like, get out of here. I got to go shoot some people. Come on. I got to go
That
do
doesn't
some.
mean anything anymore.
I got to go do some criminal shit. It's Grand Theft Auto. I gotta go steal another. Just go steal a different car. Just leave her there. They added one more thing to Nintendo Music. Wii Sports is on there, so Hugh Johnson, our guest of last week, got his wish. So
I think that's probably why it's on there.
He did say that in our top 5 that he wanted Wii Music on there, or Wii Sports on there, not Wii Music. And
Miyamoto was listening to our episode,
and
Hugh mentioned it, and Miyamoto was like, "Oh shit, I forgot." He went right got to work.
I am getting to the point of wishing that there was a lot more on the app, because I've kind of grown tired of it pretty quickly because
they just got to get hit a certain benchmark.
Just need more stuff. Yeah,
whatever that number is, it seems like they've got to like multiply their current library by about 10.
Yeah,
and then once they get there, then they can do the anemic, once a week album releases.
I wish they'd just like dump a generation at a time. So like if
I agree.
Mario games do like everything on a system at a time, including like New Super Mario and like the 3D games. Or like
here's the entire series of Mario. Boom. Here's the entire series of XYZ.
Yeah.
But even if you broke it up by generations, like that could still help you like piecemeal it, but you'd still have a lot more.
Yeah, still kind of keep it in the conversation. What I wish they would do is why don't we get more new stuff? Like I don't understand that's what I want. Like, cause whatever. Like Wii Sports, I have that soundtrack. I have all these fucking soundtracks on my phone. I don't need them on an app, but I would like to see. How about like Echoes of Wisdom soundtrack? That's a really good soundtrack. Or how about like Mario and Luigi soundtrack? Like put some new shit on there. Put some stuff from Switch that is out now that you're trying to sell. Like that. Kind of seems like the whole like facepalm. Like I don't understand. Like you're trying to get people to buy this shit, so. Why don't you put the soundtracks in there? Like Echoes of Wisdom has an awesome soundtrack, and I haven't found, haven't been able to find it on the internet yet. And I would totally listen. That would give me more reason to listen to it. Give me new shit. All this old stuff I already have. Like anybody who ever knew how to work the internet has downloaded all of these, like illegally or whatever. But like put some new shit on there. Put some Switch stuff on there. There's so many games that have been released on Switch that are not on there, that have probably been like pulled from YouTube even, that are harder to find. Like put those on there, like that, especially new releases. Like what the fuck? I know it's a Square Enix thing, but I would have loved to see, like, I would have totally listened to Dragon Quest 3 HD remix or whatever if it was on there today, because I was listening to what I had on my phone of like the old, like the Famicom and Super Famicom and all that stuff versions, but it would be cool if that was on there. I mean, I'm sure
I'd love to be able to like
put that on Spotify or something,
and then go to work and listen into the music from the game.
Yeah, right.
When I can't be playing it and be like,
then you can still stay in that space of loving the game and all that, and then you think about playing it when you get home, and it's it.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you were a kid and you used to like draw pictures like of the game when you couldn't be at home playing it. So you'd be like drawing pictures.
Oh yeah, I did that all the time in high school.
So, like, why not just have the songs to listen to?
Where you I would draw pictures of Scorpion and Sub-Zero and shit in my.
I was like obsessed with
my notebook.
Link being able to knock people down into the pits in Ocarina of Time. I just thought that, or not Ocarina, in Link to the Past. I just thought that was the coolest thing, and I drew so many little.
Did you do the little
of him knocking people down holes?
The little ding when he like disappears into the darkness. Yeah,
I just thought that was so cool.
They should get to the point where it can be expected 1-to-1. New games coming out. Okay, we're getting the soundtrack on there the week before it comes out.
Yeah,
that should just be
build up the excitement for it. Like, why not? Like I said, Echoes of Wisdom's been out for like a month. Like put the soundtrack on there. It's a great soundtrack. Like, come on. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom isn't even on there. That's over a year ago. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I would. That's what I would want to do, is try to push more newer stuff, like more Switch stuff. That's, I don't know, try to get. I mean, whatever. I mean, I know they're doing well on sales, but that's what I would like to see. Is more. It's more of the newer soundtracks. Like the Luigi's Mansion, like 2 and 3, or like Echoes of Wisdom, and like Mario and Luigi, and yeah.
My hope is this is just Nintendo being typically timid Nintendo, and then they realize that they're watching the numbers and realizing that everybody's pretty feverish about this still and still into it, and like they just dial it up. Don't hesitate. At the start of the new year, let's say them triple the catalog. Surprise, we've got 3 times as many songs, and we're working on doubling it for next month too. Like, be forward in your communication about this, that you are going to make this catalog massive, and you intend to put every single Nintendo song ever in there by the end of the year.
I think it's it says something that we're even discussing this. Like this app is for any other company, it would be kind of an afterthought. Like they don't even bother; they just like put it on Spotify or whatever. But Nintendo's like, they're such gatekeepers that they're like, they've got us being like, come on, just put like one soundtrack a week or something, like.
Well, I mean, we have
It's
gotten
that
one
they
a
have
week,
a music app in the year
yeah.
2024, and we're just like chomping at the bit over it. Like I don't know. That says something about maybe we don't feel like they're doing something right, but to a certain extent they are because they've created this much dialogue over a music app that's like I said, could have just been an afterthought, could have just been like part of your Nintendo subscription anyway, like from the get-go.
I think that they've only got a certain amount of time. We're still in the release window of this app, right? And within the release window, you have to communicate that this is going to be huge and we're going to put every song that we've had in our whole catalog in here. And, time is ticking on that. So hopefully, I think they have pretty much until January to really communicate their intent for this app. And I hope their intent is to put every song ever on there.
I mean, the app has already dropped from the charts. Like, I couldn't even find it in there as the popular ones. And I looked through like the top 30 or whatever. I guess if you look at music specific ones, it's like number 19 or something like that. But it's definitely not up there anymore. I think people have already stopped caring about it.
Right.
But that's the way things work, right? It's you get one thing and then it's like that's that. I mean, and they are like doing one a week, but I do think they should have more. I don't think they should maybe necessarily drop everything like right now, but I would like to see more than one a week. I would like to see like
I agree
10 a week or something. I don't know. Or I do like Jeremy's idea of doing like generations or whatever. And they have like these character playlists. Like what if you did do like here's like the Marios of like this era or like, or this sort of thing. Here's the ones from this time. And we only have like, I don't know. I was like when I was playing Echoes of Wisdom with Jess, I was thinking about like we were listening to the song like the cookery, the Cookery Village and all that, and I was already thinking that Link to the Past would be on the app, but it isn't. It's like it has like has the one from Ocarina of Time on there, and you can listen to that at like an hour length or whatever for however long. But it seems weird that the Super Nintendo one isn't in there, or like the NES one isn't even in there either. It's like what the hell, I don't know. Yeah, and those ones don't really only have like 5 songs. Maybe the NES ones are not that their soundtracks aren't even that long.
There's going to be a point where one a week is not enough to draw me back into the app because I'm going to be thinking, oh, cool, one whole new album, but not cool. I'm going to continue listening to the same songs I've heard 40,000 times. It's just going to be like, well, I'll put on a podcast or something, Yeah. Sometimes when you put on audio, whether it's music or a podcast, or you just want to put something on and then, drive wherever you're driving to and not necessarily have to attend to it and think, after this album's done, I'm going to hear all these songs I've heard again and again. So, why don't I just listen to something else? So, I don't know. They've got a limited time. So get on it, Nintendo.
I mean, we
love you. We appreciate you, but do better.
You've probably heard all the songs, so you're already over it. Yeah, I've just listened to it a little bit, but we did listen to it on Saturday on our way to the Cursive show. But is there any other news stuff to talk about on here? I was trying to look through.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, Nintendo is releasing a long-lost advent calendar game called Mission in Snowdrift Land. This was a game that was produced by Nintendo of Europe in 2006. It was an online. It was a website game. Like it was on their website where they were. You could check in every day and you'd get a surprise or whatever. But they're actually bringing it to the Switch coming up soon. I don't think there was a date on this article, but I imagine it's happening before Christmas.
11/29. You got it in the notes right here.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's when it starts, right? It's not. I've never really used an advent calendar. Isn't it supposed to be like the however many days of Christmas or whatever? The
month leading up to Christmas, you open the door and you get a chocolate or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this game, I guess it's I don't know what the surprise is, but I guess that's the point of playing the game.
I mean, there's like levels and stuff. Like, I thought it was like a free interactive thing or something. But there's actually like 2D levels. So I don't know. Maybe you get a level a day.
Every year,
something.
Aldi does a wine advent calendar, and that's a really hot thing. I have a couple coworkers that get a hold of that, but I think it's hard to get a hold of. But that'd be kind of fun. A little like little mini bottle of wine each day leading up.
Ooh, little bottles. I was thinking it was more like little cups or something.
No, it's actual like
Sealed cups.
a bunch of different types of wine, but little tiny bottles of it.
It's like those little tiny things you get at a
Pretty much.
you get on the plane or whatever. You can get the little
Yep.
tiny vodkas and
Airplane bottles.
whiskeys or whatever.
Nice.
I mean, well, we got them. We got them in our wedding gift bags. We got little bottles of stuff too.
We did.
I think they were a little bit
So-
bigger than the plain ones, but still they were cool.
Bad news: Sega's delisting a bunch of classic games, including the Genesis Classics collection, the one that I think we all have with 50 games on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's got some good stuff on it. It's just become easier to access it through the Genesis app.
yeah. But I don't think all the games are on there. Like I
They're
think
not.
there's still games missing, like from that
Yeah.
one. Then so there hasn't been a Sega release on NSO for a while. So at least match the stuff from that if you're gonna remove it. I think.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, that's
Sega's
an absolute must pick up. If you don't have that already, go pick that one up because that's a great deal. I think it's routinely about $15 or something like that for 50 Genesis games. Yeah, and that's going away very soon next month.
Yeah, even if you don't have NSO, it's where you can play Fantasy Star and some of the better stuff. I think I think Vector Man's on there and
Vector Man 1, 2, yep.
all the Sonic games and actually isn't there a Sonic game missing? I don't think it's all.
I think Sonic 3 isn't on there,
Yeah, I think 3 is not on there because of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
right?
He came
Because that
back and
one's
he's
still
like, stop it.
well,
Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2. You can pre-order now, and it's coming out on the 10th of December.
It's in December.
I'm very
right?
interested in playing this on again. I haven't played it since I was in college on the PlayStation 1.
I'm planning on getting it. Just as I said before, because my Dreamcast version was broken, and I couldn't beat it because the world stopped loading, and I was just
Yeah.
stuck in a cave forever. So I was having a great time with it too, and
It was a
was
pretty
just like
buggy
it's just
game.
like you can't play anymore. So yeah, I'll get into it. I was kind of
But
like
it's fun. You have to like kill you could beat the vampires, but they don't die until you like do something to them.
you gotta like
do it.
impale them and stuff,
Fatality.
right? Yeah,
or put them in like in sunlight or put them in water.
yeah,
And if you fall in water, you go to a different like plane of existence.
yeah.
I think I had a demo of
I
this
thought it was
on,
pretty cool.
on Dreamcast. I'm pretty sure.
It's a pretty high concept game for how long ago it came out.
I remember it being a big deal. I remember
The
it
music's
reviewing
really cool too.
well.
Like, the music perfectly suits the atmosphere. It's just got this like I don't know how to describe it. It's epic, but it's gothic at the same time.
I mean, it's gotta be.
Oh, I forgot to mention, but Nintendo Music is being advertised on Spotify, so I think that does signify
Which is kind of funny.
their intent to actually like go a little wider with this.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think they're trying to like. I think I mentioned last week. I thought maybe it was like a good way to get people in who
Bridge the
were
gap.
left from Nintendo. Yeah, to bridge the gap. And I think that's sort of a signifier there that they're testing that out. I don't know if they said explicitly in the ads that you can subscribe for $20. You don't have to be even a Switch owner.
Maybe Nintendo will eventually add that as like an add-on to your Spotify account to access the Nintendo Music catalog or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but I think that in any case, I think that's good news for what we were all just talking about and hoping for. How about this guy who taunted Nintendo about streaming pirated Switch games? He's now facing a $7.5 million lawsuit. Pretty stupid.
I mean, he got his clout, but was it worth it?
Yeah, how much did he make for streaming? Can you pay that?
Does he have like a GoFundMe for his lawsuits or whatever? Because you never know. He might have like a really vibrant community that's going to support him.
To the tune of $7.5 million.
Probably not that much.
He'll just get bailed out by the yeah. I don't know though. Yeah, it's
Just put a GoFundMe out there.
the fact that pirating Switch games. He was also like, wasn't he also like getting a hold of games that hadn't been released yet and then distributing them?
I don't know if he was distributing, but he was streaming games that hadn't been released yet, and I think he was telling people where they could go to get it. And
Okay, so he wasn't
Nintendo
distributing them personally, but
Nintendo framed the lawsuit as though he was
distribution.
distributing because he was doing that.
it's like I don't sell weed, but I can tell you where to go
where
buy
to get
some.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's stupid. He should look up about Gary Bowser, that guy who Nintendo sued the pants off him, sent him to prison, and now he owes like a couple $1 million to Nintendo that he's never going to pay
Imagine
back.
being in prison without
Life.
pants. That would be bad.
That's it.
Well, they give you your own pants when you come in, but when you're leave, you don't get your pants back because you didn't have
Depends
any
on which
because they got
prison.
sued off. I mean, they give you an outfit to wear in there, supposedly.
But yeah, let's end it on that happy note.
I'm fine with that.
On that guy.
Yep.
That Sega, the Sega Classics is like $30, by the way. Still, it's
Still worth it.
expensive.
It goes on extreme sale. Well, I guess maybe it won't now that they're going to pull it. And
Yeah,
we'll
just
get
grab
paid
it.
full price,
Maybe they will before they.
I think I
pull
got it for like $10 or something.
Yeah, I got it on the cheap too.
So,
I think
me
it
too.
was like less than $10 or something like that.
And this was before they had the Sega stuff, so I had more of a reason to buy it.
I guess we could end on the 20-year anniversary of Metroid Prime 2. Please
Oh, yeah, that's
release
true.
that game on Switch on the 15th, which will be when this episode comes out. So 20
A
years.
game that's all about hiding from the darkness.
Yep.
If that ain't today.
Hiding in the light, in light bubbles. So do that. Hide
The
within
best
your
place
own.
to hide from the light is, or from the darkness is in the light. I think it's a Bible verse or some shit.
Wasn't that from the Batman, The Dark Knight?
Oh wait, yeah, that was it.
Or no, I don't know. I thought it was
Either
like
the Bible or Batman. Either one.
it's like the night is darkest before the dawn. No, that was the Dark
It
Knight.
was some overly shit. It was some prose.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's true. The night is darkest before the dawn. Whatever. You should, if hide in the lightness of the NintenDomain community page on Facebook. You can come talk to us in there. We'll be your bubble of light to hide in, or whatever. Or you can listen to us on Patreon also, patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. Throw us a buck or two, and you can get some extra episodes on there. There's plenty of extra fun shit to hear of us talking about less topical things, more focused episodes. Top fives and all sorts of fun stuff on there.
Mhm.
Our latest one where we talked about our favorite composers is up, and it's really fun to listen to. So check that out.
And we do mention Debussy, so you got to listen. It's in there somewhere.
Debussy?
Yeah.
Who's that? Somebody
It's
we
a
listened to that
classical
episode.
composer.
Oh, okay. I should know. I was on that episode. I should know that name. Also you can find us on you can find me online still at Nintendo_domain and Jeremy at JMaxTech. And on Blue Sky and Facebook and whatever. Just look up NintenDomain. You'll find it around there. And YouTube.com/NintenDomain podcast and Twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast, which is where I'm going to after we're done recording here. So I can play Dragon Quest 3 and see if anybody watches it. Which probably not, because Square has already streamed like 2 hours of it. But I can't stream the ending. They put out a warning. Even though this game is old, you can't show the ending of Dragon Quest 3. Maybe it's different now. I don't know. I'm sure it's still the same. But no, I'm excited to play it. But yeah,
They
you
will
should
come for you.
check all of that out. But yeah, we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
On the
And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
See ya, HD3D.
Yeah, I think the tongue taco is probably the best way to have it, or one of my favorite ways to have it. But anyway,
And, it kind of makes sense that the tongue should eventually be tasted. So
Yes.
just doing all the tasting.
you do all the tasting. Now you need to get tasted. Tongue.